Hey there, this is going to be a corpse push tutorial, which is the current meta on WeVC to get the chews that are in bottom of the well, usually done right after getting the bottle. So we're just down of the well and let's enter it. Now we're going to go to the crawl space. And after the crawl space, we're on this little stage and we're going to be jumping down. So I'm going to call this the initial setup. So the initial setup is going to be to target in that corner, two side ups to the right, side out side roll on your left, side up side roll on your right. I did not release target at all. Now I'm going to backflip and release target during that backflip in order to repress target and press A so that I get a dry roll. The dry roll is important because if I backflip and then just press A, I'll get a down roll. So releasing and repressing, it's one way to get a dry roll. You probably knew that. Now, let's say that for some reason I lost my position and I do not want to climb up. So we're going to have a couple of backups. The first backup is going to be two down rolls and then two side ups to the right. But we have to be very careful that none of our side hops land on this little dirt patch. So be very careful to don't hesitate to go backward quite a bit before doing those two side hops. Once you're done with your two side hops, you go to the wall and you're back into the same situation. Backflip, release target, repress, and get a dry roll done. Another backup that I see more and more and that I would consider slightly better is getting into the other corner, two backflips, side up side roll, backflip, side up side roll. And then I'm going to do some whatever ESS turn. So I'm going to be ESS turning just to make sure I don't change my position. But this wall is what we call sticky. Please cooperate. Okay, so this wall is sticky. As you can see, if I target with slight angles away, then it's going to snap me to the angle of the wall. So don't worry too much and just get snapped on the wall, and then you're back into the situation of backflip, release target, target, press A, get that dry roll. All right, so now I would very much recommend to place a safe state in the middle of this dry roll. This is what I have. This is how I'm going to continue this tutorial. So we are now having the safe state in the dry roll. And the next thing that I want to do is side hop to the right. During that side hop, I want to press the stick because I want to have the stick pulled out and I don't need to do any more rolls or things that the stick would prevent me doing. So I'm going to press it now so that it gets pulled during the side hop. During the side hop, I'm also going to release target and start holding ESS right. What I want from this is 4 ESS turns to the right. So we're going to count. This is 1, 2, oh wait, that's 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to be able to target, but that's going to be my one chance at targeting. You have one chance at targeting right now. So let's target here and see if I get the angle. So that's too far to the right. The angle that I would like is the one that is right here. And I would like to be targeting. But right now, if I target, I'm going to be targeting either the skulltula or the skeleton, which is bad because it's going to give me some whatever angles that are not going to be a multiple of ESS turns that could give me back the other stuff. So if by any means you target this, then you're good to go for the other setups for which you're going to have to draw your stick backs. So this is the angle that I am looking for. A good way to recognize this angle is that the point of Link's hat is pointing at a vertical line that you can see on the wall, so that is separating two bricks. And this is going to be my cue. So remember, if I don't have this angle, then I want to just take my time, readjust with my ESS turns, press C up, and pressing C up is just going to put all of the targeting of whatever else away. I press target, and then I'm going to cancel it. I can cancel it with pressing A, with pressing C up, or pressing whatever C button. I just tried C left for some reason. And now we are in position, and it could be a good time to place another safe state. Now, as you can see, the skulltula has a little bit of shaking before turning around. And It's gonna seem very difficult, but you're gonna have to count those shakes. You'll get used to that, do not worry. And so the way we count those shakes is, the first thing it's gonna do is move towards me right now. And when it goes away, I'm gonna count. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is the one that I am looking for. All right? And the thing that I'm going to have to do with 4 is hold up, release target, and press stick. So this is all going to be done in the unpause lag. So just before unpausing, just don't be holding target, hold up, and press stick. For my personal comfort of doing the tutorial, I'm not going to be using pause buffering right now. So I'm holding up, I'm no longer holding target, and I press the stick, and then the slash animation starts. During the slash animation, which is fairly long, you want to switch to holding right, full right. So that Link is going to turn just like this. And for now, let's not worry too much about the rest, but did you see that the Skulltula just went exactly to the right of Link, which is correct. Now, let's go to other frames. So we're back to the shaking. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go to 5. So 5 is the next frame, and I want you to pay attention because there's an audio cue to recognize that you're on the 5th frame. All right, so pay attention to the sound. Believe it or not, you can actually hear that when you're pause buffering. And if I go for the inputs right now, what you're going to see is that the Skulltula goes towards the skeleton. So if the Skulltula goes towards the skeleton, you have not yet broken your stick, so you are eligible for backing up, especially if you have only one stick. So that is going to be your cue for after the slash. If you are on the 3rd shake, then the Skulltula is going to die, and you will have broken your stick, which is not a good thing, but that's none of my concern. I'm just here to explain how the trick works. All right, so we're back here. Let's count the shakes one more time. So it's going to come towards me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so on 4th frame, as we said, we release target, hold up, press stick. Now during the animation, I switch to holding right. And Link is going to turn, so that's the 1st frame that Link is turned to the right, and I want the next frame, this one. You can recognize that you are on this frame because Link's left heel is behind his right foot. If I go on the next frame, as you can see, the left heel has disappeared behind the right boot. So that is not correct anymore. And as far as I know, I don't know how to make this work if you pause this late. So we're back on the correct frame. And on this frame, we're going to keep holding right, press stick, which is going to slash to the right. And once again, during this slash animation, we're going to switch our joystick to holding straight left this time. Okay? It's going to flash quite a bit, which is going to have the console lag a little bit, which is important for pause buffering. And as soon as Link flips, this is what I'm going to be calling frame 1. So pay attention how Link is slightly low. You can look at his left leg and see that there's a 90-degree. So you can see that he's kind of low on the legs. And if I go to the next frame, still holding left, he's going to stand up. All right. So now we're going to go into a little dichotomy because those 2 frames, you can make them work. Let's get into the first situation. So this is our first situation, which is what I would be aiming for all the time. In this situation, you release the joystick and you press target. And what you would like to get is 3 frames after. So I'm pressing target here. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, the stick disappeared, which is a sign that I can now backflip. So on this frame, I am going to be backflipping. And then I want to pay attention to what happens once I land. You would usually pause one frame after that, but I still want to show you this frame. So on this frame, there's a cue with the leg of the sculpture and the wall that is behind. So you want to look at the bricks on the wall, and you see how the leg is like in two shapes, like it widens and then it starts being really small again before widening. Like the leg is in multiple parts, and you want to look at the end of the middle part and in comparison to the bottom of that brick. And we are now in the situation where the cue is low, so it is actually touching the bottom of the brick. So in this case, I know that my next frame is going to be the good frame to backwalk. So let's go to the next frame. This is the frame that you would like to pause on. And now what we're going to be watching is the fang of the sculpture. And we want to compare the height of the point of the fang compared to the bottom of C down. So C down is the one that has the stick on it. And right now, what I can see is that the point of the fang is lower than the bottom of C down, which means this is the frame that I want to backwalk on. So I would usually have a pause on this, and during the unpause lag, I'm going to just hold down, and this is going to clip. All right. Now let's see the other situation. So we're in the backflip, same exact backflip. By the way, this is a 50-50 if you get the previous situation or the situation that I'm going to show you right now. And now when I touch the ground, as you can see this time, the middle part of the leg of the sculpture, what a great sentence, is no longer touching the bottom of the brick. It is higher up, kind of in the middle. So now you know that you're in the other scenario, which is the higher up scenario. And you would usually be pausing on this frame. And your cue on this frame is that the fang is no longer under the bottom of C down. It is over it, and it's even behind it. We can't even see it. So in this case, you want to go one more frame before starting to backwalk. And this is what is going to get you the clip. Now, let's go back to where we started splitting the paths. So the beginning of our dichotomy. And we were holding left here, and we targeted here. But now, let's go into the scenario where we sadly paused one frame late, and we have Link fully standing up, and that's where we would like to target. This time, we're not only going to target, but we're going to target holding down. Just like this. And now, we want to wait only 2 frames, not 3. And as you can see, once again, the stick disappeared from Link's hands, which means I can now backflip. So I am backflipping. And this time, I would like to pause on this frame, because what is happening right now is that we are late. So we would like to start backwalking 1 frame before the cue that we mentioned on the previous stuff. So that's where the leg cue with the bricks comes in handy. All right? So as you can see, now we have the leg cue being low, which is the one that we need to backwalk faster than the other one. We don't need to wait 1 more frame. If the leg cue was higher up, we would wait 1 more frame. As the leg cue is low, I'm going to backwalk right now. And we get the clip. Okay? Now let's move to the next part. Okay. So here I am on a save state where I am going to be clipping right here. And as soon as I start clipping, I want to be holding down right. And you almost want to pre-shot that. Okay? So consider it a good use to have one of those save state where you just have to backwalk and then it clips. So that you could just get used to when it's going to be clipping. As soon as it clips, I hold down right. And then when I hit the water, I start holding right. You can even pre-shot that a tiny bit, which would make the next thing easy. Once I start swimming to the right, I'm going to be counting 2 full swings of the arm. I don't know how to call that when you're swimming, but 2 full swings to the right. Okay, so holding down right and then holding to the right, 1, 2, and then Link just hit the end of an area behind him, so he's going to be pushed slightly forward, which is why I enjoy just inputting whatever, just full left, full right, just to cancel the momentum it has in the water. All right, so 2 swims, and then you want to be looking somewhere over there. Now let's go to the top so that we can understand what we have to do. So when we clipped, we basically clipped over there, and we arrived in the water over there, and then we swam to the right. Okay, and what we want to be doing is to only swim where there is water here, and the area that we want to go is around here. The chew chest is under my feet right now. But the difficult part is that I don't want to miss that little corridor of water. So this corridor of water is what we're going to be focusing on being able to aim. So I'm going to show you a few cues so that you can actually locate your position. Where you're going to end up with the swim is going to be highly inconsistent because of swimming mechanics. So you will have to just slight readjust, but you will have plenty enough knowledge to do that. So let's go back to our save state that has the clip on it, and let's clip, hold down right, hold right, 2 swims, then I cancel. So now you can see that there's like this blue point on the left of my screen. I'm very happy with the angle that I have right now because I'm almost parallel to it. Parallel to it is very good. For what I enjoy, I feel like I'm slightly too far right compared to the parallel side of that point. So I'm going to be swimming slightly to the left. Okay? You can get used to that by simply trying to adjust here and then let yourself float completely to the top and see if you are in front of the corridor. Now, another thing is the corridor is so parallel to the side of the blue points, and I want to swim towards what looks like a big brick pillar on the right of, so I start to see the chew chest and the room of the chew chest, and further away there's that pillar. So in order to go through the corridor, I want to swim to that pillar because of the cues that I set up before. All right, and I want to start swimming. So I use a pretty safe cue, which is when Link's left ear is at the bottom of the room where the chews are. Okay, when this happens, I'm going to swim without mashing A or B so that it's always going to be the same speed of swimming, and it's somewhere around 2.5, 3 swims, and then I'm going to go slightly to the left and then jump in. So let's see how this looks. What? Oh, so as you can see, I jumped because I didn't aim correctly for this. So on YouTube, you will probably cut and be back to the rest. So let's clip again. Hold down right. Hold right. 1, 2. Now get closer to this. I'm going to get much closer this time. And then those cues were terrible because I didn't release target too early. All right, let's do this again. So I am back to the save state. And we're going to be clipping. Hold down right, hold right, 1, 2, cancel, turn around. I'm parallel. I feel like my distance is not too bad. Now I'm parallel to the blue point that is down below from the basement, and in front of me is that big what looks like a brick pillar. So I'm happy. Now I'm going to be waiting for Link's ear to be at the bottom of the chews, and now I'm going to swim forward for about 3 swims. 1, 2, 3. And now I can start angling towards the chew chest. And as you can see, waiting for Link's ear to be at the bottom of this room was very safe. So don't go much later. All right, so I'm going to do this one more time in full speed. Clip, hold down right, hold right, 1, 2. Get a little bit closer, release target. Wait for the ear, go towards the pillar. And there I am, at the chew chest. I hope this tutorial was useful. This is a pretty complex trick to understand, and it's a lot of pause buffering. But once you have the few backups and the few adjustments, then you will start finding some consistency and be very proud of yourself. So I hope you start enjoying these tricks as much as I do. And on this, I wish you a wonderful day. Ciao, ciao.